Good morning. Appreciate everybody being here. Excited for the week. Miami week. It's one of the greatest rivalries and traditional games in all of college football. For us, it's a lot of excitement within the program for the week that's ahead. Looking back at this at Saturday, obviously it was a disappointing loss. A lot of challenges that we faced. We're not efficient. They're offensively at all in the first half. Really struggled. For a variety of different reasons. We had some missed passes, some missed opportunities. One series we had a couple bad snaps back to back, put us in a challenging situation. Just could never really get anything going. There in the first half. I thought our guys responded well in the second half. We were able to put together some drives. Just we're not able to be as consistent as we needed to be throughout the course of the game. Really struggled to get the run game started. They did a nice job. Really kind of keeping us bottled up there. It did open up some things in the passing game, which in the second half I thought we were a lot more efficient in regards to that. Defensively. It's really the big plays and third downs like we talked about after the game. And, there was on the big plays that thought we, other than the vertical shot where, something that, we've got to get corrected, just in our coverage. I mean, there was, they got behind us, and it's something we've emphasized a lot. I think we've done a lot better job throughout the year, making sure we're playing with our eyes, being where we're supposed to be. But that one did get behind us. And then on the other big plays, we had guys in position to get the ball down, and we just need to make sure we're finishing those plays with great technique and making those those space tackles when we get an opportunity to. But third downs. We were able to create some pressure on the quarterback. They did a nice job of receivers of getting separations at times in their intermediate passing game. Some bang plays, but I thought that was something that allowed them to sustain some drives that forced our defense to be on the field longer than what it needed to be, and that was something that just throughout the course of the game, our inefficiency in the first half offensively, it forced our defense. I think the time of possession was it was well out of sorts, but kind of a combination of all those factors. So, but moving forward, I think our guys, they bounced back yesterday. I mean, everybody was disappointed. We're hopeful this week we get some guys that were unavailable last week. Back. We got to have a great week of practice. Like I said, there's a buzz in the building because we all know what's ahead, and it's definitely exciting to get to that preparation. It's senior day on Saturday. Last home game, and what a way for our seniors to be able to go out against this opponent. With this opportunity. So a great deal of excitement for that, and with that, we'll take questions.
First question will be Aaron to your right.
I know you don't want to make excuses, but the tackling seemed, in a few situations, seemed to be issues that we haven't seen in a while. Can you attribute any of that to the illnesses? And then also, do you feel like you guys are on the tail end of I mean, I know you can't see the future, but in terms from the health standpoint.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things. We've seen some real steps within from our defense throughout the course of the year, and limiting the big plays, tackling better in space. The third down defense has been much improved, and it comes down to some fundamental things. Make sure you're running your feet through contact, making sure you're tracking. Your tracking is right. Playing with your eyes, and just a repetition of being able to be reactive and to close the space in some of those situations. I'm not, all those other things are other circumstances that, I was really pleased with our guys for the work that they put in. The guys that had a chance to be available, they did everything that they possibly could. We had some guys there was no chance that they could safely go out there and have a chance to play. And so those are all things that we looked at. But I do think that defensively we made some major strides. But all those plays they all count, and our guys They take ownership in those actions, and we're continuing to work. That's Sunday is a big individual day, and continuing to focus on those details. And I thought the intensity in those reps last night, even after a very physical game on Saturday, you could see our guys. They were coming to work, and I was really pleased with that to correct some of the issues that showed up.
I'll come over here to the left for Brendan.
Do you anticipate to have Jordan available this week? I guess how's he doing in general?
Yeah, we're going to see how the week progresses. Like I said, it was in pretty tough shape this past week, and it was carried over to yesterday, and we'll see as we progress throughout the week.
Go to Kurt.
You talked about FSU Miami. I guess how weird is it weird for you? You've been here, almost 2 years, and this will be your first time kind of being on the sidelines for one of the in-state rivalry games.
It's actually in our staff meeting this morning. Is one of the things I mentioned. I'm excited about this game. I'm excited about being a part of this game. You come to Florida State, and the first thing you think about are those games and what they mean not only to our program but to the state, to our fan base, everybody involved. And it was unfortunate last year that I wasn't able to be there. It's been a long time coming, and a lot of excitement from our staff and our players just to go and be able to compete. And Miami is they're on a three-game win streak. They've been playing really well, playing with a lot of confidence here as of late. And we know that this is for this game. You take all records out of it. You take everything that's happened up into it. It's about what we do this week. And come 3:30 on Saturday, and there's going to be a ton of passion, ton of excitement, and we're looking forward to the game.
Go back a couple rows to Corey.
Mike, not even the 4th and 4 in the fourth quarter. I think you had maybe 4 4th and 1s, maybe 5. You had a lot. It was a weird game where you kept coming up about a yard short. 3 of the times you punted, 1 of the times you went for it, and you got it. What dictates, because they are all about the same side of the field, the same position on the field, what dictates you choosing to go for it on one and not go for it on those others?
Yeah, it's really a sequence of the game, feel the game. There were a couple. We had one in the short 2 minute, before the first half that we elected to punt. That was one that was really kind of. Kind of a pick 'em, whether you go for it or not. You had elected to punt the ball away. Had a couple timeouts. If we got in a situation, we would have an opportunity. You obviously didn't play out the way we wanted it to there. But it comes down to a feel at times, and then also field position. How are we playing? Kind of some of the momentum things that were showing up throughout the course of the game, and. At the end of the day, it was those are challenging situations at time. But I was glad that we converted the 1 4th and short that we went for. Unfortunately, we didn't get the 4th and 4 there later in the game, where I felt I think Ira asked me after the game just about the decision on that one, and it really came down to possessions. And we'd had some momentum coming off the goal line, with passing the ball, and you just missed opportunity there on that. You still got to a 3rd and 10. There defensively, but obviously we had the screenplay that they were able to score on. So looking back at it, I felt confident in decisions. Going back and reevaluating them and the reasons why we chose to do what we did in all of them. So it's all kind of part of that in-game sequence where I've got to take the analytical part of it, but also the feel of the matchup and what I feel is best at that time.
All right, we'll come back over here to Chris.
With Miami, what has Van Dyke brought to the quarterback position for them, and what maybe switched for them when he came in versus when Derek was running the offense?
Well, you just see the aggressiveness and pushing the ball down the field, and he's a very talented young man, big quarterback. Can really extend plays. He's tough to tackle. That's one of the things you don't view him as an overly mobile quarterback, but he has really hurt people with his legs, and if you don't keep him contained, he's got good enough speed to he scored multiple touchdowns from 20, 30 yards out, just due to scrambling, and but you see the arm strength, the way he's able to locate the ball down the field, has really stretched defenses to where they're having to defend the field vertically, and then you give obviously Knighton at running back is getting him back, and just the spark that what he brings, catching the ball at the backfield, and the dynamics he brings as a runner as well. I mean, you see their offense, that identity is really showing up, and that's it makes it challenging, and they've done a really nice job. They got Rambo at receiver, who's one of the best receivers in our league, and playing at a high level.
Go back over to the right to Ira.
After the game, Mackenzie said that all you need to know about Keyshawn is that scramble drill when he works from one corner of the end zone to the other. You just talk about that play and how much, I guess, pride as a coach when you see something like that play.
I mean, that's one of the things that never giving up on a play. It just Keyshawn was actually his landmark was the absolute back corner of the opposite side of the end zone, and Mackenzie scrambles, was able to spin around back and forth a little bit, and saw Keyshawn just he started booking it, scramble, utilize the scramble rule even all the way across the field, was able to get behind the defense in the back of the end zone, and Mackenzie was able to eye him and put the ball in a place where it's us or nobody, and that was a heck of a play there for that moment, but just showed unbelievable relentless effort that showed up throughout the course of that play, which was in its own right it was pretty wild, but it was really that is Keyshawn, and he gives everything he has with each opportunity, and has made some big plays for us this year, and really like the growth of what we're seeing of him, and proud of the way he's playing.
All right, stay with Ira.
Looking back at the running game, especially in the first half, were there opportunities there for the backs, or was it just not there?
I mean, it was a little bit give and take. I mean, there were a couple of opportunities that we had throughout the game that that we were able to create some space, but then on the flip side, NC State did a good job of taking their edge defenders and being able to add them in. There was a couple of times where Mackenzie was able to get the ball or hold a defender and created a little bit more space, and we had some of the bigger runs that we did that did show up in the game. But I mean, they did a nice job of jamming things up, and we made a couple of adjustments. We were able to create some space in there, and I thought there were some positives. I was really pleased with the O-line, just even in a halftime adjustment that they were able to take that and be able to execute it there in the second half. It was be able to create some momentum, and then also with the efficiency in the passing game in the second half, you started to see more space that was created. We forced them to play a little bit more with space on the roof, and we pushed the ball down the field a couple times, and that opened up some things in the running game. But it's a fair balance of that. But I mean, they did a nice job, and we could continue to do a better job of trying to help put our guys in the best position, and then just creating that space.
Go to the back corner for Adlon.
What are you comfortable sharing about Chubba's decision to leave the program midseason, and did that affect preparation and game planning for you guys going into the game?
Chubba came in on Tuesday, with the kind of informing of where he had, got to, and he says it was him and a family decision, to leave, and it was a shock, really, just to a lot of people around the program, and but at the end of the day, it's each young man's decision on what they want to do and what it looks like. He was actually one of the guys that was out on Monday and coming into Tuesday with what was going around last week, and so it was one of those things kind of caught me off guard a little bit, and but I wish him all the best in his future endeavors, and it's one of those things that's the new age of college football, and it's whether it's early in the season, mid-season, late season, after the season. I mean, those are decisions that kids they get to make, and wish them all the best moving forward.
That's what I was going to ask, Mike, is it, do you have to coach differently with the portal out there, knowing that if a kid's unhappy 4, 5, 6 weeks into a season, into his career maybe if he's a freshman, it's almost like you have to recruit him again? This is the place for you? Like, how does the portal affect personalities and relationships?
I just want to be real, too. And, I don't, you could, like, we're going to coach and develop, and that's what we're going to try to do. And it doesn't matter. Like, obviously, we have one player that this happened to last week, but I mean, it's also this will be a continuing experience that people are going to see all across college football. I mean, every day you get a new alert of somebody that's going in the portal from winning programs, from programs that have not been winning, or it's a unique dynamic to college football. But I want to be real with our kids, and exactly where they are, what it looks like, where I believe it going to. It's really. For that situation with Chubba, I was really pleased. You look 2 weeks prior and you listen to interviews, you listen to the things that are said. I mean, I was really pleased with the growth of what I was seeing from him. But at the end of the day, it's a decision that he and his family chose to make. And like I said, I wish him all the best moving forward. On the flip side of it, you don't want to go and just paint a picture of something that's not real, and for any kid. And I would rather be real and transparent of where things are, positive, and if there's things of areas of growth or what you need to see or what you want to see. I fully believe that as guys continue to know what they need to improve on and what where they are and what the future can hold for them, the ones that stick it out are they're going to be able to achieve that success. They're going to be able to live out that story, and that doesn't mean I've coached. We got a couple players here they're playing for us that are transfers, and I'm glad they made that decision. So it kind of works both ways. But for those guys that choose to leave the program, I wish them all the best, and I hope they find the best opportunity for them. And we'll probably find a couple of guys that make the same decision at other schools. They come in, and if it's the right fit for Florida State, then you see the success that we've had with that as well.
I was going to follow up on that. You guys have obviously had success on the other side of it. Do you get the sense from a big picture standpoint, though? Do you get the sense now that players are trying to get into the market earlier? Like your kids are. This isn't after the season now. This is guys making this decision earlier. And how does that affect, do you think, college football?
Yeah, it's definitely different. And I've had some of those discussions about guys wanting to have time to look. But the flip side of it is right now I can't fully tell you what our roster is going to look like next year. You're coming off COVID where, some schools are over scholarship counts. They don't know, everybody has another year of eligibility unless they were a super senior. So who's going to come back, who's not, who's going to, there's so many different dynamics that go into play with that. So, I think there's some players that are probably left early, but we're limited right now, and even with all the people that are in the transfer portal, and even at some positions that we're probably going to look at, just knowing how many are you going to take at this position, or are we going to have availability when it comes to scholarship numbers? It's just so many unique dynamics to this year, but I do believe that it will probably be something that in the future that kids will leave in the middle of season, or when they hit a certain point of the season, that if they want to I've always seen that a little bit with the 4 games and things like that. But it's a new age in college football, and you just got to kind of adjust and adapt to it. And I just don't. It's you never know what the future holds, and for guys that might leave and explore other opportunities, just not knowing what what maybe could have been or might have been. It's just those are the challenging decisions you always have to make in life.
Anything else for Coach? Madeline?
I guess it's like week 11 now of the season. Just how much now film is out there on every team, and how does coaching, how do adjustments change for a program as you head into this sort of part of the season when it's November?
It's just who you are. People probably have a pretty good sense of, and the week in, week out adjustments that you're going to make, the minor tweaks. We still continue to do our weekly self scout and things that we know might be a heavier tendencies, and to make sure we're not giving away too much information of what we'd like to do in all 3 phases, and not being predictable in what we're presenting, but also you kind of get a sense of that identity and what you're going to hang your hat on. But then it still does go to games, to each game, and where are the advantages? Where do you think you can attack? Where are some of the areas that you're going to need to have maybe extra assistance or really be able to create a greater angle or help with this matchup. I mean, that's always going to be evolving throughout the course of the year. So, but definitely with more film and the story being told. I mean, a lot goes into that.
All right, last one will be Ira.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about Tate because a lot of times during the regular season, those guys that are further on depth chart are working with the scout team. Now that you're thinner at that position, will he have to get more work with the base team stuff, or has he already been in position to
No,
do
I mean he's definitely get more work with with the first second group. I mean this last week, I mean he got a little bit of both, and it was a unique week, in its own right. But he'll definitely it'll limit the time that. That he would go down. I mean, him and Gino would kind of both switch just because wanted him to still get those repetition and go out there and play the game. And I like the positive growth that I'm seeing from Tate. And it's one of the things like on those Sunday night practices, it was Tate, Chubba, those guys were getting a lot of work, during that time. And so it's good to see the steps that he's taken throughout the course of the year. And now he knows he's one step closer of being able to go in, to go in the game and just the way that he prepared. And, he's one of those guys that, he had a couple of rough spots last week. And I mean, he was doing everything in his power to be available, and him, McKenzie, both. I mean, it was, and so he knew he was one play away, and it was, he prepared as the absolute best that he could to be ready if his number was called.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.